A potentially devastating injury casts a shadow on the Dodgers' chances of winning in October. SportsCenter starts now.
This is SportsCenter.
That sacrifice, oh man, he's well over 2,000 now.
After unforgettable careers, two of the game's greats achieve football immortality. Clinton Portis brings the Skins more rushing yards than they've ever had. Why he has to prove himself all over again in D.C. As the Yankees cruise towards another postseason, we reveal the teams that are best suited to knock them off. Shaky play on the international stage has U.S. hoop critics shaking their heads. Why this team can win Olympic gold. As you may have noticed, the Yankees are pretty darn good. Best record in the AL by 8 games coming into today. Great power numbers. Very tough at home and in close games. And if they're beating you after 7 innings, you can basically forget about it. Thanks for dropping in on SportsCenter alongside Kevin Frazier. I'm Dave Revsine.
Yeah, you know, we're going to start the party with the Yankees, or better still, should we say, we're going to start with the team that we feel can beat them. You know, the Yankees right now sport the American League's best record, and they own a comfortable lead in the East. Here are a few of the contenders, and we'll start with their arch rivals, the Boston Red Sox. Now, why should we believe in the Red Sox? Can they beat the Yankees? Well, keep in mind that Boston is 8-5 against New York this year, and they have two of the best in Pedro and Schilling, but pitching dicey today by Tim Wakefield. Red Sox and Tigers, and let's show you the pictures. Now, Ivan Rodriguez, 0 for his last 28 against Tim Wakefield. Doesn't have a home run against Wakefield. He changes that in the bottom half of the first. Pudge, the crushed groove, 1-0 Tigers. But Nate Robinson gave up 2 runs in the top half, so it's 2-1. Bottom half, Craig Monroe gets a piece of the loving with a home alone shot. Monroe's 5th game tied at a deuce. Next batter, Eric Munson, same flavor. Number 16 for Munson, 3-2 Tigers, 3 home runs in the first 2 innings. You figure Wakefield's in trouble. He gave up 5 in a game in '96, but in the top of the 3rd, Kevin Youkilis helping Wakefield out. His 5th home run of the year, game tied at 3. Robinson blows another lead, but in the bottom of the 3rd, Pudge, another home run. My goodness. 2-run shot off of Wakefield, so it's 5-3. Later in the inning, Carlos Pena. You're kidding, right? Wakefield, 5 home runs and ties the Red Sox record, but Robinson can't hold on to the lead. Top of the 4th, tied at 6, David Ortiz. That counts for 3. Bottom of the 5th, Wakefield, Dimitri Young, another home run. That matches the modern-day MLB record for home runs allowed, 6 by Wakefield. He left after 5, 8 hits, 6 home runs, but more home runs. Kevin Youkilis comes in because Robertson doesn't want to win the game. Bottom half of the inning, Munson, his 2nd of the game, 10 home runs, a Comerica record. Bottom of the 9th, woo! Can we just relax? Carlos Guillen flies out, game over. And miraculously, Wakefield won the game despite giving up 6 home runs, his 3rd win in a row.
Time to make the case for the Texas Rangers, who are 3-3 against the Bombers this season. Like the Yanks, Texas has a high-powered offense, could do some real damage if they get hot. Plus, you have the Buck Showalter revenge factor. Buck's guys trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Orioles. Bottom of the 1st, Melvin Mora facing Kenny Rogers, and Melvin gets the better of that battle. The year he is having. The circa 1983 unis today, O's on top 2-0 on Mora's 18th. Bottom of the 3rd, it's 2-1. Javi Lopez up there. David DeLucci, beautiful grab. The replay confirms what we already suspected. He caught it. Bottom of the 4th, 2 outs. Runners 1st and 2nd for Mora. in a huge game, bringing home Larry Bigby here. Orioles on top 4-1. More 3 for 5, 4 RBI, his 5th 4 RBI game of the year. To the 5th inning, Orioles on top 5-1, 2 on, nobody out for B.J. Surhoff. Down the line and right, Rafael Palmeiro, Jerry Hairston Jr. going to score. Orioles on top 7-1. There's more where that came from. It's 8-1, and it's Mora again. Blooping one into shallow right, brings home Bigby. Orioles win their season-high 6th straight game. They win it 11-5. They have won 8 in a row against Texas, a streak that dates back to last season.
All right, 2 other contenders to dethrone the Yankees, the A's and Twins, who sport the 2 best records in the AL outside of the Bronx. Now, what's the upside for the Twins and A's? Well, Minnesota has a lethal start-finish combination in Johan Santana and Joe Nathan. The Twins have yet to face New York this year. Meanwhile, the A's starting rotation is their strength, but Oakland just 2-7 against the Yankees so far this season. 2 contenders playing each other. Mark Mulder looking for his major league leading 16th victory. This game in the bottom of the 15th, still tied at 3 apiece, so Mulder will get no decision. He won't move on. As soon as it's over, we'll hook you up and update you.
The other prime AL contender, Anaheim, plays tonight at Kansas City. Our poll question on ESPN.com asking you, which AL team has the best chance of beating the Yanks in October? Anaheim, Oakland, Texas, Boston, or Minnesota? Log on to ESPN.com, cast your vote. Results and the thoughts of our Baseball Tonight crew coming up later in the show. The Blue Jays with a golden opportunity to trim their deficit in the AL East to just 22.5 games with a win over the Bombers today. And don't think it can't happen either. Toronto beat the Yankees as recently as July 28th, and they've only played them 3 times since then. To the Bronx we go. Miguel Batista has the assignment of facing the Yanks. Bottom of the first, Derek Jeter gets on the infield single, extends his hit streak to 9 games. 2 batters later, runners out first and second. Hideki Matsui coming up with the infield hit. It loads the bases with 1 out for Bernie Williams. And Bernie coming through his 10th career grand slam, 4th all-time on the Yankees list behind Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Ruth. That's some decent company. Yankees on top 4-0 on Bernie's 13th. Bottom 4, it's 4-1 Sheffield. A 2-run blast. His 26th, time for the 5th most in the AL. Yanks on top 6-1. Meanwhile, John Lieber cruising on the hill for the Yankees in the 8th. Facing Vernon Wells, gets him. Carlos Delgado, he goes down as well as Lieber went 8 strong innings for the win. 4th straight Yankees starter to go 8 innings. They win it by the final of 8-2 and hand the Blue Jays their 5th straight loss. So the Yankees claim another victim in more ways than one. The chasm between themselves and New York, a bit much for Blue Jays brass to handle. They announced after the game that manager Carlos Tosca had been fired. Tosca, who led Toronto for 2+ seasons, will be replaced on an interim basis by first base coach John Gibbons. Today's loss dropped the Jays to 18-37 on the road. They are a season-high 17 games under 500.
Still ahead inside this edition of SportsCenter. Best team in baseball adds one of the game's best hitters to an already lethal lineup. Welcome to the party, Larry. Mr. Walker's first day is ahead. You know, the Turkish national team hit 11 3-pointers today. Team USA, 0. Sounds like the recipe for disaster. Could the dream team hold on in Istanbul? A magical day in Canton as John Elway and Barry Sanders and the rest of the class of the 2004 Hall of Fame were enshrined. Words and pictures are on the way. Jeff Gordon calls it the toughest track to negotiate on the NASCAR circuit. We're headed to Indy next for the Brickyard 400. It's SportsCenter. We're rolling.
The man on the left ordered a delicious chicken dinner from a casual dining restaurant. The woman on the right went to KFC and got the same quality meal for $4. Sadly, the casual dining meal cost $8.
I only brought $4.
Oh, that's not good. $4 meals from KFC. Choose from 3 freshly cooked meals, a 3-strip meal, a 2-piece meal, or a breast meal, each with 2 delicious homestyle sides and a freshly baked biscuit for only $4.
Don't forget the tip.
Quality meals at half the price of casual dining restaurants. $4 meals only at KFC.
Hey, Jack. I'm getting the league back together.
You keyed my car.
Yeah, I know. But it's the league.
The league. Let's go.
Play Fantasy Football League Manager on ESPN.com. Get the league back together.
SportsCenter, brought to you by KFC's $4 meals. 3 tasty meals complete with 2 sides and a biscuit for only $4 each. And Sirius Satellite Radio. Listen to the entire NFL every week only on Sirius Satellite Radio.
Welcome back to SportsCenter. A quick update on the Brickyard 400. They're still running, and Jeff Gordon running good. He has the lead. Mark Kent's second. Your points leader, Jimmy Johnson, in 35th place. Not good news for his fans. All right, back to baseball, New York and St. Louis. And watch this. Bottom first, tied at 1. Edgar Renteria at second base. Now, Albert Pujols lifts one to center field off of Al Leiter. Pujols flies out to center. Renteria rolling. Luckily, he gets back in time. But wait a minute. Watch this. He rounds third base, but doesn't go back over third base on his way back. That's a no-no. And after an appeal, Renteria is out. Also on the play, Pujols hits Vance Wilson in the head with his bat. Wilson would have to leave the game, and he's a little annoyed about it. Bottom of third, tied at 1, bases jammed. Reggie Sanders facing Al Leiter, and Leiter loses control of the situation. Reggie, go ahead and do your thing. The homie from South Carolina finally gets to first base, run scores. Hey, what about Larry Walker? His first day on the job with the Cards, it's first start at least. The double there would score a run. He was 1 for 3 with that RBI, and the real story, Edgar Renteria atoning for his sins, goes the other way. He had 5 hits on the day, 5 for 5. Cards win 6-2. The best just keep getting better as they roll and knock off the Mets.
The Astros throwing Roger Clemens against Montreal. Rubber game of the 3-game set. 1-0 Stros. Nick Johnson up there, and Clemens gets him to end the inning. Roger 8-2, 2.56 ERA at home this season. Top of the 5th, same score. Ron Callaway pinch hitting with a runner on second. Hits one back up the middle for an RBI single. It scores Jamie Carroll. We're tied at 1. Bottom 5, still tied. Clemens. As sportscasters, we are contractually obligated to use the phrase, helping his own cause. Single to center. Went 2 for 2, his first career 2-hit game. Carlos Beltran goes down there, ends the inning. He was 0 for 3, left 3 men on base. Now in the 7th, it's Jose Vidro. The RBI single scores Brian Schneider, 2-1 Expos. To the 8th we go. It's 3-1 Montreal. Alex Gonzalez up there. And Alex Gonzalez out of there. His 5th of the year. It's 4-1 Montreal. Next batter is Brian Schneider, and he does the exact same thing. His 10th of the year, 5-1 in favor of the Expos, and they hand Clemens the loss, just his 4th of the year, as the Expos win it by the final of 5-2. Let's update you on the Phillies and the Dodgers. It's 2-0 in favor of the Phillies. The big story in this one, though, Dodgers pitcher Brad Penny injured his throwing arm in the first inning, immediately left the game writhing in pain. This just Penny's 2nd start since coming to L.A. just before the trade deadline. He will have an MRI to determine the severity of that injury tomorrow.
Still ahead, Team USA is still in search of its groove. Today's stop on their world tour, Istanbul. Which team would end up playing like a turkey?
Plus, John Elway does something Broncos fans thought they'd never see again as he and Barry Sanders achieved immortality. An emotional day in Canton. Coming up.
New
from Philips, the only flat TV in the world that creates an incredible viewing experience by combining breakthrough Pixel Plus 2 picture quality with exclusive built-in ambient lighting. Experience everything with Philips.
Got to admit, it's getting better, a little better.
This year, Allstate is proud to continue a great Olympic tradition, winning. Go to allstategousa.com right now and you could win one of 5 new Cadillacs or other great prizes. That's allstategousa.com.
Ads on taxes are popular. Great idea for 7-Up. Ready, Topher? You okay?
Joseph, life would be good. No?
X Games 10, live tonight at 7 Eastern on ABC.
Now you can get real results in half the time it takes on a bike, treadmill, or stair stepper.
Introducing the Tread Climber by Nautilus, a machine so effective we guarantee results in just 30 days.
In one short workout, the Tread Climber burns twice as many calories as high-tech treadmills.
The secret is the unique dual treadles that let you step up as you move forward, so you do twice the work in one effortless motion. Exercise just 3 times a week for awesome results.
Get the body you want in half the time.
Now you can own a Tread Climber with no money down and affordable monthly payments. It's made in the USA by Nautilus and is backed by a 5-year warranty.
Just 3 short workouts a week on the Tread Climber will get you into the best shape of your life.
Check out the next evolution in home fitness. Call now for a free video or DVD or visit us at nautilusdirect.com today.
Do you like Baby Ruth?
Yeah.
Do you like bowling? Well, now, for a limited time, when you buy a bag of Baby Ruth, you get a free game of bowling. Buy another bag and get another free game. Another bag, another free game. You can get millions of free games in the Baby Ruth free bowling giveaway. Just look for specially marked bags of fun size, 10 packs, and minis, and get your free game of bowling today. Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal.
The Real Deal. Brought to you by Baby Ruth from Nestle. The real deal.
2 years ago at the World Championships in Indianapolis, there was no more entertaining team to watch than the Turks. I mean, the team was awful, but for every game, there were thousands of Turkish fans in the stands playing horns, chanting, dancing, and basically having the time of their lives. Today, the USA Olympic team rolled into Istanbul for their final tune-ups before the Olympics, and awaiting them, a packed house that was so loud, Bill Walton said before the game, all I can hear is drums, horns, and the PA announcers. Bill, this one was close. USA and Turkey in Istanbul, just beautiful. Dave, you've been there before, right?
Yeah, I have.
LeBron
Crazy
James
question.
playing the passing lane, and then he finishes in LeBron James style. 18-13 USA, second quarter, another steal, another deal. Watch the teamwork here. Sean Marion, 2 hands like his mama taught him, 33-25 USA, and then more great ball movement. AI to Stephon Marbury, touch pass to Timmy Duncan for the layup. Duncan 16-8, 45-31, the USA in control. Just seconds remaining in the third quarter. Ibrahim Kudale, considered by many to be the best European player right now, doing his thing, and then he continued late. Larry Brown took out the veterans, played the rookies, and Kudale and the rest of the Turks come storming back. They hit 11 threes, and that one cuts it to 3. Team USA in trouble again. So get the old guys back in the game. Iverson, a long jumper. Team USA fails to hit a 3-pointer. Duncan and Iverson, the only guys in double figures. Cutley drops 19 on them, but Team USA barely survives. And you look at the numbers once again, and here's the scary thing. Turkey did not qualify for the Olympics. They were not good enough. The real games begin next Sunday when Team USA opens up Olympic play.
Elway and Sanders, Hall of Famers. When Gary Barnett was a Colorado assistant back in the 80s, he went to see a D lineman in Wichita who he had been told was 6'5". When the kid turned out to be 6'1", an embarrassed Barnett left town, canceling an appointment the next day to see a running back that he had heard was too short to play anyway. Whoops. That running back was Barry Sanders, and Barnett certainly wasn't the only one who overlooked him. Small in stature but huge on talent, Sanders among 4 players immortalized today. Trey Wingo anchors our coverage.
Well, it was literally a picture-perfect day at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, as the Hall welcomed in 4 new members, the class of 2004. Trey Wingo here in Canton with Tom Jackson. The class, Bob Brown, Carl Eller, Barry Sanders, and John Elway. Elway, the last keynote speaker, about 18,000 strong, came from Denver to listen to what number 7 had to say. He did not disappoint.
I never felt more proud than the day my coach, Wade Phillips, called me the Lou Gehrig of quarterbacks. As a quarterback, I didn't always have a great game, nor was I always healthy, but my teammates knew I'd always show up. I didn't always succeed, but I persevered. And finally, after 14 seasons, with the help of my coaches and teammates, I got to experience the feeling of winning a Super Bowl. To all those Bronco fans out there, this final mile-high salute is for every one of you out there.
A lot of times I did lose yards on a run, but, you know, it wasn't big for lack of trying. And I can credit William Sanders for that great lesson that allowed me to be a great player and to be here today.
Well, Elway, the first Bronco and maybe the best Bronco,
Absolutely.
And he got that, didn't he?
Yeah, and I don't doubt either of those things. I know he's the first Bronco, and I also know that he's the best Bronco. He's also the guy who probably had the most character of anybody on the team, the most will to win of anybody on the team, and there's nobody that worked harder than John Elway. So, you know, as long as it took for a Bronco to get in, I'm so proud of John today, and somehow it seems right that he be the first one to go in.
Clearly a very personal experience for you. Some other observations you saw from the other 3 inductees?
Well, I think certainly when you think about the linemen that were inducted today, Carl Eller and Bob Brown, there's a lot of intellect obviously in the trenches. These guys gave speeches about things that had a lot to do with things other than football. So I enjoyed that as well. And then Barry Sanders, I don't want to, degrade what happened here, but when you think about his dad and his presentation of Barry Sanders along with Barry Sanders' speech, I think you got a good look at that relationship. And we also, people say we don't know what Barry Sanders is, we don't know who he is. Well, that's who he is. Barry Sanders, I think, is a guy who shunned the limelight, but he was a great football player, so it's hard for those two dynamics to coexist.
We didn't get maybe something we were hoping for, the big explanation of why he walked away, but I think we sort of got a hint at it here. He would have been uncomfortable being the #1 rusher in the history of the NFL.
I think that if you, in fact, left this game as the leading rusher all time in the NFL, that experience would never end for you. And I think that Barry Sanders realized that, and it was pure speculation on our part, but I think that he realized that his life would be very, very different if he ended up with 20,000 yards, 21.
Which he could have done.
Which he could have done.
No
Absolutely.
question. And one thing that is not speculation, it was just great to see so much social consciousness come from Carl Eller as well as Bob Brown. It was a magical day. Who knows what will happen in 2005? We may do it again with a crowd of Miami Dolphin fans. But in 2004, it's all about these 4. Sanders, Elway, Eller, and Brown. That's it from Canton. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks, guys. Here is another look at the 4 newest Hall of Famers. Elway and Sanders among the best players ever at their positions. Carl Eller, one of the famed Purple People Eaters, played in 4 Super Bowls with the Vikes, while offensive tackle Bob Brown played in 6 Pro Bowls in his 10 NFL seasons. Still to come, with only one division race closer than 5 games, we're going to be talking a lot about the wild card in the days to come. We will sort out today's results.
Also, who can beat the Yankees? We offered up the contenders. The crew from Baseball Tonight chimes in with their thoughts, and we will have the results of your vote next.
This ESPN 25 moment is brought to you by T-Mobile. Moment 31. Walter Payton ran straight into the record books in 1984.
Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher, surpassing Jim Brown, and listen to the standing ovation.
I don't care how many records are broken. I don't care if they get 20,000 yards more than I did. They still won't have as much fun as I did.
One of us should call someone.
Midday during peak hours? Forget about it.
Now, come on, man. I'm roaming out here. Besides, it's just a bug bite.
God, calling now would cost a fortune. Besides, it's just a little bug.
Too many restrictions on your wireless plan? Come to T-Mobile and talk whenever nationwide.
Whenever?
Mm-hmm.
T-Mobile gives you the most whenever minutes. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile. Get more.
Find a way to make the cut. Only at Champ Sports, where sport lives.
No. Yes, I'd like to redeem my credit card miles. Flight to Denver.
No.
LA?
No.
Fresno?
Where?
Fresno?
I'll
fly out Wednesday.
That's gonna be a no.
Thursday?
All blacked out.
I'll take the red eye.
No.
No.
No. How about Friday?
Sure.
No.
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. Fly any airline, anytime, with no blackout dates. Capital One No Hassle Rewards.
I'm calling Capital One.
No! Hey, what's in your wallet?
Honey, we should get that new Jaguar.
Is something telling you it's time to get a Jaguar? Presenting the Unleash a Jaguar sales event. Lease an X-Type 3.0 for $349 a month at your local Jaguar retailer. Unleash one today. See the Jaguar XJR in Catwoman in theaters now.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering, can I get a wake-up call tomorrow morning, please? 8:30 a.m.? Yeah, the thing is, I was wondering, can I get that to go to my cell phone instead of my room? Oh, well, here's the thing. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be in my room tomorrow, so I just thought if you could call my cell phone, it would cover all bases. Please?
Who's rising? Who's shining? Who's next? ESPN the magazine. On newsstands now.
Tribe and White Sox. Cleveland actually one game ahead of the free-falling Southsiders in the Central. Top of the fourth, Jose Contreras making his home debut. Gets Casey Blake there. Top of the fifth gets Coco Crisp. Contreras, 7 strikeouts through 6 innings. Top of the seventh, runner on third. 2-1 Sox, 2 outs. Brady Sizemore up there, and Contreras gets him. Contreras went 8 innings, struck out 9. Ninth inning, Damaso Marte in for the save after Shinjo Takatsu gave up a 3-run homer Saturday night. Guess what? Marte gives one up to Victor Martinez. 18th of the season, ties it at 2. Bottom of the ninth, 1 on, 2 outs, Ben Davis.
Ball hit hard into the gap. Come on, Timo. Come on, Timo. Come on, Timo. Come on, Timo. Here's the throw. Deep. And the Sox win it 3-2.
Hawk famous for his neutrality. As the Sox win in dramatic fashion 3-2, they snap a 4-game skid. Theoretically, White Sox and Tribe still in the wild card hunt. That is highly theoretical, though. Here's how today's results affected the standings. You see Boston's win combined with the Rangers' loss means those two now deadlocked atop the AL wild card standings. Angels enter the night a half game back.
That one's hit deep to right center field. Going back is Rios. See ya! A grand slam for Bernie Williams. And the Yankees have a 4-0 lead.
All right, that brings us back to our poll question. Which of these AL teams has the best chance of beating the Yankees in October? Well, we gave you the vote, and you said the Red Sox. Wow. All right, we need some real analysis. Let's head out to SBC Ballpark in San Francisco, where our Baseball Tonight crew is on the road. They're driven by GMC, as a matter of fact. Here's Carl Ravitch.
much, Kevin. We appreciate it. And here at SBC Park, another picture-perfect day for baseball as the Giants get set to host the Chicago Cubs in the Sunday night baseball game. And, of course, on Baseball Tonight, we'll talk much more about this matchup and all things that have happened on the baseball fields today, including, as we know, a new manager's been fired or another manager, and there's been a big injury out in Los Angeles with Brad Penny. The latest on that coming up. But let's focus on, as they just mentioned, the American League wild card race, now Boston and Texas. And the way the Yankees are playing, they're not going to be caught. We talked in the beginning of the season, Harold, about just how great this team is. Are we finally seeing how great this team is?
Well, I think we really are. I mean, it's amazing how they've been able to gel together. Watching the chemistry of the ball club, I think, is very important, how these guys are starting to play as a group and as a team. Just watching the type of game they play, they bunt, they hit and run, they hit home runs, they do all that. But the thing I think has been the biggest difference, Carl, they're starting to play defense. You know, if they get any pitching at all, right, this lights out.
We've seen a couple of good outings. You agree? Are they as good as they can be?
No. I don't think they're as good as they can be. I mean, Derek Jeter's hitting 270. A-Rod's hitting 270. He's still not hitting well with runners in scoring position. If those two guys get close to their career numbers,
it's scary.
They're running away with. I mean, they're going to run away with the World Series. Just hand it to them now and get it over with.
Well, many will suggest running away with the regular season doesn't mean much. It's when you get to the postseason. So of the teams, whether it's Boston, Anaheim, Oakland, Minnesota, who do you think is best built to beat the Yankees?
Well, early in the year, Carl, I thought it was Boston, but I really feel like it's Anaheim, particularly if you get Bartolo Colon pitching the way he can pitch. And the reason I say Anaheim is their offense matches up. They're the type of team in a playoff situation that can win a one-run ball game. They will bunt, they'll manufacture. We've seen that. Plus, they got the big guy in the middle in Vladimir Guerrero.
Right. You think?
I think it's Boston. I just think, you know, and I've said it all along, that great pitching makes great hitters average. And Kurt Schilling, Pedro Martinez, Tim Wakefield in the postseason are great pitchers, and I think they can make the Yankees lineup average. Plus, the Red Sox are not a team that's shy about scoring a lot of runs either. They're not bashful. So I think if Yankees pitching stays as it is, and the Boston can take that pitching into the playoffs with those guys I said, Schilling and Pedro and Wakefield, I think Boston can overtake them.
All right, folks, a little later it's going to be the Cubs and the Giants. There will be no Nomar Garciaparra in the starting lineup, one of those rest days. And, of course, Dusty Baker, now the manager of the Cubs, he has helped make that decision. We'll continue. Baseball Tonight comes up at the top of the hour. We'll see you then with the latest news from the Diamonds.
Gentlemen, thank you. Lots more baseball ahead. The Marlins on a mini roll. We'll see if they can keep it going with Dontrell Willis on the hill today.
3 teams, 3 games. We check in on the National League wild card race. The Cubs lead the pack with both Philly and San Diego within striking distance. Highlights on deck.
He took her by the hand, walked her back home, and they took the long way. Someday somebody's gonna ask you a question that you should say yes to.
Madden NFL 2005 on Xbox Live. Ready for everyone. Fall in Love August 12th.
State Championship. Nike Air Zoom Milers.
Fat Farm.
New Under Armour.
Whatever you want for back to school, one store has it all.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
A full ride.
Adidas cleats. Nike Shocks.
To beat Madison.
To beat Central.
K-Swiss.
New Nike cleats. 10 less seconds.
Dick's has all the shoes, clothes, and gear you need to look and play your best. So remember, every season starts at Dick's.
Who has the skill? What a move. And the guts.
My goodness.
To take home $5 million. The 2004 World Series of Poker heats up with the main event.
And that is it.
The field narrows and the intensity burns. On ESPN, the 2004 World Series of Poker main event begins August 17th and continues every Tuesday at 9.
When you're a closer, the ninth is your game to win. So what if the hitter thinks he's got a chance? And if the guy at the plate thinks he can stare you down and make you nervous, then he's getting the sick stuff. And it's game over.
MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV has up to 60 games a week.
That's right, 60. You gotta see it to believe it.
If a movie about a guy digging a chick makes you feel like a pansy.
You're my boyfriend, right?
Uh-oh. Or a mama's boy.
That was pathetic.
Then there's always 50 First Dates.
Are you staring at me or her? Because you're starting to freak me out.
This season.
Yeah.
50 First Dates.
Order it now on DirecTV pay-per-view.
We're bringing back some of SportsCenter's original anchors.
Camera loves me, I love the camera right back.
SportsCenter is going old school, and your favorite anchors are back on set.
I don't like everybody looking at me like an idiot.
SportsCenter alumni are back in Bristol for a return engagement. SportsCenter Old School begins tonight at 11 Eastern with Dan Patrick welcoming back Craig Kilborn on ESPN.
In the early days of ESPN, civic leaders here in Bristol, Connecticut put up a sign touting their city as the home of the ESP network. While it would have been an honor to co-anchor SportsCenter with Dionne Warwick, the truth is we were headed in a different direction. 25 years later, we celebrate our silver anniversary by bringing back some of the great SportsCenter anchors of the past. Dan Patrick catches us up with Craig Kilborn.
Camera loves me, I love the camera right back.
September 1993 was a time to feel good at ESPN.
Hello and welcome, Craig and Carl. This is the Feel Good Edition, and with good reason.
Craig Kilborn debuted on SportsCenter and proved to be catchphrase crazy.
Juwan Howard, Jim McElveen, Jumanji! Krakatoa. Give it to Poole. Remember, he's not your Vetus, he's not my Vetus. He's our Vetus moving without the ball. And supple leather.
But Craig possessed more than just his signature calls. He displayed patience.
You've embarrassed me on national TV. Come on, people, move it. Let's go.
And a way to relate to the common man.
Nice try, Sparky. Nice try. Maybe next time. Just play the game, plumber boy. 2 words for you. Pizza delivery.
Krager's left us in May of 1996, and 3 years later, he took over as the host of CBS's The Late Late Show. SportsCenter proudly welcomes back Craig Kilborn.
Now, once again, you can see Craig's return to SportsCenter as he joins Dan tonight after the Cubs and Giants here on ESPN.
Meanwhile, one of the biggest races of the year, the Brickyard 400 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. still in a lot of pain from his accident a couple weeks ago. Lap 9, Earnhardt Jr. gets under pole sitter Casey Mears' car. Mears swerves, but he doesn't wreck. Lap 23, Tony Stewart out of control. He would straighten himself out, as he always does. Caution flag out. Lap 30, Ryan Newman takes the air from under Jimmy Johnson, the points leader, out of control. And Johnson would later have to pull out of the race with engine failure, so bad news. During a pit stop, Mears' car rolls away from a crew member, one of the tires. Another member goes out into traffic and gets it. Close call. Then how about a little fire? That's a fire. Sterling Marlin on fire. Another caution flag, please. Jeff Burton, right after the restart, hits Rusty Wallace, and Scott Riggs behind that wreck is rear-ended. He hits the wall, bounces back in front of oncoming traffic. A mess, another caution. And on pit row, more trouble. Robbie Gordon, a fiery blowout. He got to pit, but there's smoke and fire everywhere. His crew got the fire out. 6 laps to go. Brian Vickers and Ryan Newman collide, coming around a corner. Newman slams into the wall. Another caution, the 12th of the race. Here's the deal, though. Jeff Gordon holds on for the win. And how about Jeff Gordon? His 4th win in 11 years at the Brickyard. The Rainbow Warrior partying. Hey, you know, they should drink milk at the Brickyard. I really think they should. All right, back to baseball. Bruins and Marlins, and that's Chris Capuano. And the Brewers trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Bottom of 6, and he's all caught up with Juan Pierre. Checks him once, moments later, checks him again. Pierre dives back. Now, Jack McKeon says, hey, watch this kid. He's going to balk. See, what he should have done is reminded his team to watch Capuano. Same at bat. Luis Castillo flares to second, and Pierre doubled up at first. Pay attention, everybody. After Miguel Cabrera single, Capuano gets Mike Lowell, and that's why you got to pay attention to the pitcher. Jack, talk to your team, not the umps. Brewers win 2-0. So we take a peek at the National League wild card race. The Cubs with a 2-game cushion of the Padres, Giants, and Phillies. Of course, Giants in action in baseball tonight out there at SPC Ballpark. Those guys follow us a little bit later.
Still to come, Joe Gibbs back running the Skins, which means the Skins are going to be running, putting the focus squarely on Clinton Portis.
No person made me. You know, it's my will, my drive.
And there is no better baseball than Little League Baseball, the Little League World Series on the way.
Get the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. Order now.
Welcome back. Our big leader is Carl Senegren, a bouncer from Saskatchewan. His hobbies are eating and lighting firecrackers. And it says here, Carl, you're looking forward to the 7th grade. You're going to be a teacher?
No, a student, Alex.
You mean you're not even in high school yet?
What is no? But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Let's get some harder questions here, huh, Alex?
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Circuit City's a place for all your new school gear. Come in today and save $270 on this compact desktop computer package with an Intel Celeron D processor, Samsung 17-inch flat screen monitor, HP color printer, and DVD CDRW combo drive. Just $449.99 after mail-in rebates. And Circuit City's a place for the hottest video games, too. You'll get a $10 gift card instantly when you pick up Madden NFL 2005. Only at Circuit City.
As I said before, there's no better baseball than baseball at the Little League World Series. Tonight, coverage continues with the Midwest Regional Final. It's Iowa and Minnesota squaring off for a trip to Williamsport. 7 p.m. is the time. ESPN 2 the place. That's tonight, my friends. Mariners and Devil Rays. And early on, Ichiro is struggling, in trouble. As you see, we're all struggling with this highlight. But anyway, the story here was that Rob Bell rolling. Bell strikes out the side in the first, tied at 1. In the bottom of the 6th, B.J. Upton facing J.D. Moore. Upton singles up the middle. Tino Martinez comes around to score 2-1 Devil Rays on Upton's first Major League RBI. Devil Rays go on to win the game 5-1. Obviously, my highlight and that highlight a little different, but you get the gist. 5-1, the final score.
Dr. Frank Stableford's scoring system for golf rewards birdies and eagles with points and deducts points for scores above par. So, the higher the score, the better. In Stableford's system, double bogey was the worst you could do on a hole. The goal was to make the game more enjoyable, so that one bad hole wouldn't ruin your day. In what might qualify as the dictionary definition of irony, Stableford came home from a round of golf in 1959 and took his own life. His system lives on, though, being utilized at this weekend's International outside of Denver, and John Elway being congratulated for the Hall of Fame. 18th hole, par 4, Bernhard Langer. Second shot from the fairway, and he nearly jars it. He would birdie from there and finish with 23 points. Now on 16, Alex Ceka misses the bogey putt, so he double bogeys, loses the lead, ties him with Rod Pampling on 16. Pampling misses a 4-foot par putt, drops a point. Now Ceka has the lead. It's a war of attrition on 17. Ceka hits the 3-foot birdie putt. He goes to 29 points. Also on 17, Pampling for eagle from the fringe. That is worth 5 points. Pampling is pumped. He's got 31 points. Now on 18, Ceka needs this birdie to tie. He misses it right, and Pampling gets the win, 31 points, his first ever professional win. Still to come, X Games 10 finishing with a flourish. Skateboard, Big Air Finals, Motor X, Supermoto, and freestyle and bike stunt. It's all mere moments away.
Clinton Portis has heard that the Denver offense is designed to create 1,000-yard rushers. Now in a new system, the weight is squarely on him. We talk Clinton in D.C. next.
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. If I made you feel second best, girl, I'm sorry I was blind, but you were always on my mind.
you're a closer, the ninth is your game to win. So what if the hitter thinks he's got a chance? And if the guy at the plate thinks he can stare you down and make you nervous, then he's getting the sick stuff. And it's game over.
MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV has up to 60 games a week. That's right, 60. You gotta see it to believe it.
This is the coolest thing.
I just got a DirecTV DVR with T-Mobile.
This is a sports fan's dream. I'm watching the game.
A slam dunk to the rafters.
Instant replay button.
Gotta see it again.
I'm the referee.
So boom.
See that nice linebacker hit on that wide receiver? You can see it over and over again. Instant replay. Live television. Hello?
Wish list is one of the best things.
It's like a search engine.
You put in their names, Chicago Bears,
New England Patriots.
It'll find it.
every game for the whole season.
One button doesn't get any better than that.
DirecTV DVR. Call 1-866-GET-A-DVR for this special offer.
This X Games Report, brought to you by Right Guard, proud sponsor of X Games 10.
Final day of X Games 10 from LA. Moto X Supermoto race. Ben Bostrom's in the red. Hot on the tail. The leader, Eddie Seal, going into the final lap on the paved section of the course. And Seal gets a little loose going into the turn. And Bostrom takes the lead, and that would hold up. He takes the gold medal on the victory lap. Some trick riding. Bostrom, Seal, McGrath, 1, 2, and 3. From the skate big air competition, Danny Way.
No way.
Yes, Way. Nails the giant backside 360, then gets 23 feet of air and nails the landing. That's a 91.66 on the score meter.
How do you score that?
It's very complex. I don't have time. He won.
Hoping you would help me out with the way you score that. On to the NFL. Clinton Portis admitted recently that he was thankful during the 2002 draft when his college coach Butch Davis and the Cleveland Browns passed him by. Quote, "It was time for a new experience." See, according to Portis, there were times at the University of Miami when Davis would sit him for long stretches. Well, touches and playing time were not an issue in Denver, and it surely won't be in Washington for the newest Redskin. John Barr has more on Portis and his newest new experience.
On a team where the unquestioned leader is a coach who has nothing to prove, the most important offseason acquisition still feels as if he does. Clinton Portis has already made believers out of his new teammates and coaches.
Ooh, the hair in the back of my neck just froze when you say Clinton Portis. He is a rare back. He's what we call an every down back. He catches the ball, he's a great runner, and the best thing about him is his pass protection.
Still, Portis is out to answer the greatest knock against him. The Redskins have never had a 1,500-yard rusher. Last season, Portis rushed for almost 1,600 yards, nearly as much as 11 different Redskins players combined. But that was in Denver, where Mike Shanahan's ground game has produced 4 different 1,000-yard rushers in recent years, and where some believe it's the system more than the players that matters most.
I'm no system back. No system made me. No person made me. You know, it's my will, my drive that got me out here doing the things that I do.
Big hole, 45 midfield, one to beat, foot race, 40, 35, 30. You can say goodbye, Portis, to the house.
We obviously watched him on film, and there are times when you say, hey, you know what, there have been a lot of guys that could have made that run. But then there's other times where you say, hey, there's very few guys that might have not even seen that hole. And if they did, they might not have been able to hit it.
It's players complement the system, you know. Terrell Davis was a great back. Did that system make Terrell? He was in the same system. You telling me Terrell wouldn't have been good if he would have went somewhere else?
Portis will have plenty of opportunity to prove his true worth in Washington, where he's already evoked comparisons to great Redskins rushers of old.
We basically had big backs here. John Riggins, George Rogers, Gerald Riggs. He's probably one of the most complete backs we have ever had on our football team. He reminds us a lot of Joe Washington, going back some years where little Joe was a scooter, he was a power guy, and he was a great pass blocker.
Of course, those Redskins famously had their hogs up front. Portis will have to run behind a line that struggled last season.
We've obviously been through some rough times and stuck those out as a group. We're just so excited to have an offense where we can pound the ball, we can mash people, we can be the offensive line that you know really most offensive lines want to be.
You have guys who want to be nasty, who want to finish. You know, they're not just going to knock you on the ground. They're going to dive on top of you, you know, and not let you get up.
We're run first, pass second. So Clinton is going to be exposed quite a bit, and he is adjusted to this system. So it's a power system, a little bit of finesse system. We have it all. We're vanilla chocolate strawberry, butter pecan. We have a lot in the package.
They need some flavor from Clinton Portis. The Redskins' ground game needs some kind of boost. Last season, Washington 22nd in the league in rushing. They had seven different running backs, and they combined to average 28 fewer yards per game than Portis, who rushed for 100 yards 10 times in 13 games. Let's check in with a former Hog to find out how he thinks Portis will do.
The Washington Redskins are going to surprise a lot of people this year. Joe Gibbs brings continuity, stability to the organization, and a commitment to run the football with Clinton Portis, and he is a superstar. Defense, though, they have a weakness, and that weakness is who is going to sack the quarterback from the defensive line. 2.5 sacks is the most any defensive lineman on this football team had. It means you're going to have to blitz, and you're going to have to hang those DBs out to dry occasionally. I think the Washington Redskins will be 9-7 this year and competing for a playoff berth, maybe a wild card, but don't expect much more than that. But that's a marked improvement for this organization.
Mark, thanks a lot. Hey, Monday on the 6 p.m. Eastern edition of SportsCenter, we flip the script and take a look at how the Broncos plan to replace Portis. Does Mike Shanahan have another 1,000-yard rusher to plug into the system? How about this? The A's now breaking out in the bottom of the 18th. It all started with a Jermaine Dye RBI single. They now lead 6-3. Highlights on Baseball Tonight coming to you from SBC Ballpark, where the Cubs and the Giants will square off tonight a little bit later. Well, as a matter of fact, right after our show, Rev.
Yeah, as Kevin mentioned, Baseball Tonight, 4 minutes, 17 seconds away, live from San Fran. Nomar sitting out our Sunday night baseball matchup. The gang will tell you why. That is coming up next.
This NFL Training Camp Report, brought to you by Sirius Satellite Radio. Listen to the entire NFL every week, only on Sirius Satellite Radio.
Tom, what's this?
It's my new Sirius Satellite Radio. You can get the entire NFL on this.
You mean every game, every week?
It's my new favorite receiver.
Really?
And big news from the Patriots. Tom Brady has a new favorite receiver.
I thought I was his favorite receiver.
Only Sirius Satellite Radio gives you the entire NFL with this exclusive NFL Sunday Drive. Get the NFL your way with Sirius Satellite Radio.
I gotta get one for the Cruiser.
Now get $50 back with the purchase of a Sirius plug-and-play receiver and boombox.
Stay tuned. Tonight's ESPN lineup is brought to you by ESPN Video Games. Next, Baseball Tonight. At 8, Sunday Night Baseball, the Cubs and Giants. Tonight's ESPN lineup is brought to you by ESPN Video Games.
They're hot, they're powerful, and they can tow over 6,000 pounds.
Who do you love?
Trailblazer and the 7-passenger Trailblazer EXT.
Oh, who do you love?
Trailblazer, an American revolution. Trailblazer is available with the safety and security of OnStar.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack. I'm getting the league back together.
You keyed my car!
Yeah, I know. But it's the league.
The league. Let's go.
Play Fantasy Football League Manager on ESPN.com. Get the league back together.
SportsCenter, brought to you by ESPN Game Plan. Bring college football home.
The Phillies have beaten the Dodgers 4-1 in the rubber game of that series as Philly improves to 9-1 in its last 10 against L.A. More important for the Dodgers, though, as disappointing as the loss was, you see Brad Penny going just 2/3 of an inning. That's because he injured his pitching arm in this game, left writhing in pain. The Baseball Tonight crew will update you on his status in a matter of moments.
Final of the Masters Series stop in Cincinnati, the one and only DRE taking on Leighton Hewitt. We pick it up in the third set. Agassi up 2-1, looking to break Hewitt, and he just fed him a steady diet of that backhand. Hewitt hits it into the net. Agassi breaks to go up 3-1, cruises from there. 5-2 championship point, and the 34-year-old takes out another 20-something. He's the oldest guy to win on the ATP Tour since Jimmy Connors. Congratulations to Andre Agassi as he wins a third time in Cincinnati.
Well, history has proven the #1 pick in the NFL draft anything but a sure thing, Kevin.
Yeah, as a Baltimore Colts fan, I know that John Elway never played a single game for the team that he was drafted by, and they still remember that in Baltimore.
Yes, apparently you still remember it too, but Elway certainly proved his worth after joining the Broncos and declining to don that Colts uniform, which still pains Kevin. Now he stands as just the 6th #1 overall pick since '67 to enter Canton. That's going to do it for us. I'm Dave Revsine.
A Little League World Series on ESPN too, but on ESPN, check out Baseball Tonight live from San Francisco.
Coming up on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by McDonald's, Barry Bonds and the Giants take on Slammin' Sammy Sosa and the Cubs, two of baseball's great all-time sluggers, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, on ESPN right after Baseball Tonight.
Now on Baseball Tonight, live from San Francisco, Mark Mulder looks for his 16th win as the A's and Twins face off in a battle of first-place teams, while the Rangers continue to fade fast in the AL West. The Red Sox and Tigers play home run derby in Motown. See how Tim Wakefield gives up 6 and still wins a game. Jeter, A-Rod, Sheffield, Posada, or Pujols, Edmonds, Rowland, and Walker. We'll debate who has the best lineup in baseball. Harold and John splash down by the bay, giving us an inside and outside look at SBC Park. We touch them all and bring you the day's best glove work on Baseball Tonight from San Francisco now.
Baseball Tonight on the road, driven by GMC.
On display tonight, two of the greatest home run hitters baseball's ever known. Barry Bonds in the cage, Sammy Sosa taking his cuts as they prepare to play. Nomar Garciaparra, 6 for 9 in this series, will not be in the starting lineup for the current manager, Dusty Baker, or the former manager of the San Francisco Giants. And now, of course, Felipe Alou runs this club. Moises Alou checks out Dad, talks to Dusty, says Chicago is rolling along, folks, and we are just a line shot away from the batting cage here at SBC Park on another glorious day in San Francisco, California. And, of course, Baseball Tonight driven by GMC. Welcome, folks, as our home away from home this week is San Francisco. A lot worse addresses you could have, folks, if you're going to talk about baseball. John Kruk and Hal Reynolds, we are here in San Francisco. The Kruk fans are out. Let's get out of the box and find out what has happened today. It's been a very busy day on and off the baseball field. Start with Toronto. The Blue Jays lost to the Yankees by a score of 8-2. And then Carlos Tosca lost his job. He's been fired by